welcome back to the Pastor's Podcast. Pastor Scott here with Pastor Ara.
Hi, everyone.
And Stephanie Moss.
Hi, guys.
Don't sound so excited, Ara.
I'm excited. Anything with numbers excite me.
That's part of it. We handed Ara a summary sheet, and he's like, "You want me to talk about what?"
Well, I don't think you've ever introduced me as Stephanie Moss.
I'm sorry, Steph Moss. Steph Moss. I am particularly excited because this is our annual Christmas partnership offering. I almost called it the old name. Christmas partnership offering, right? CPO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember now.
Missionary. I was going to use the term missionary.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just for safety reasons.
Well, now that it's out on public, well, yeah. No, I mean, it's because we have different partners in different ways in different places. But the reason I'm excited is because this is an opportunity we have each year to go above and beyond in our generosity to meet the very real and tangible needs of our partners, both across the city and across the world. It's one of the ways in which God funnels the incredible generosity of our church family to corners of the globe to address really practical kingdom needs. And it makes me think of when I'm reading through the book of Acts, and Paul is taking resources and delivering them, across a large geographic area to brothers and sisters that are in need, and he's being their representative as he collects and delivers and brings it. This podcast in particular is just our opportunity to get to be a link in that chain of God delivering his resources to the needed places in his kingdom. And so I'm excited to get to talk about the things that he has, that we've discovered are needs among our partners, and how he wants to use our resources here, our generosity here, to meet those. So as we get into that, there's kind of a theme verse that arose as we talked about this as a team, and as we put these different things together. It's actually a verse we just finished talking about in our staff meeting. I think there's a theme going on here. The verse is from Matthew 9, verse 38, when Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he says to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into the harvest." This is one of the reasons I think maybe this year is particularly exciting to me, is because sometimes we invest in kind of capital projects and different things. And there are a few of those here, facilities and things like that. But the theme that runs throughout all of the projects we're about to talk about is the need for harvesters, and the opportunity we have to both pray that the Lord would build up more harvesters to experience it and see the gospel spread and take root in all over the world, and the way we get to participate in that. And so, as you guys think of, maybe just as we get started, as you guys think about the ways in which the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few, how does that touch down when you think about our partners and the work that God's doing here at Cornerstone?
I think what comes to mind is just, I really truly see evidence of this among our partners. You just see, we have these select, really deep partnerships with just a select few, people or organizations, and we get to see how they are part of the prayer life of the church and the harvest. We get to see how they are part of the laborers that are out there doing the work among fields that some of us will never ever get to enter or reach. We can reach it through our prayer life, right? But we might not be on the ground as a laborer in that region or among that people group. And so I feel like this verse really comes to life for me in each and every one of the partners that we have and that we get to have relationship with. I get to actually witness them be a part of that verse and model that for us. And that's really beautiful. Brings it to life.
Yeah, I can add this. Like, if you remember, Scott, we like a few weeks ago when we celebrate 100 years of our church, you
Mhm.
came to me or elders and show there's a budget few years ago, I don't know, 90s, 20,
Oh,
1930,
like, yeah.
and the amount of budget that 2/3 of the budget of the church goes to mission or something
Like
like that.
over a third of or a third of the church's budget went to missions in
It was
like the
like
50s. Yeah.
this church has a long history, and I was like, wow, that's a blessing. Like we are celebrating our 100 years, and then the church history and background is how our members from beginning, how was like they were generosity and faithfulness to God, and this is continue right now in our church. And for members, like I've been in different meetings of mission. I have passion for mission. I want to go to mission. It's just my calling. And I see how we want to expand this and looking for right people and workers around the world to support them, to be part of what God is doing around the world, not only here, but other side of the world that might not able to go there right now, like as a pastors, as a members, but we are, each of the members of mission team, like they are very, very careful. It just make me excited and very grateful that you guys, everyone in the team, we go through lots of conversation and going through challenging questions and also numbers and this kind of stuff. Like I'm very blessed to this church is continue blessing workers and the harvest, and we're part of big picture of God and kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we are the result of the fact that the Lord sent harvesters into the harvest to harvest people like us. And now we get to be a part of that, both as harvesters ourselves and praying to the Lord of the harvest and contributing to the work of the harvest across the world. And so that's one of the things that, as I mentioned, I'm particularly excited about this year as we continue this tradition. I mean, really a long-standing tradition, going back long before I think we even know when it started, but of bringing manifesting special generosity towards the end of the year around the holiday season for our partners. And so we're going to talk about this in a few different categories, but the first category is that a number of our partners have given us opportunities and conveyed to us needs to invest in developing new global harvesters. So not even just an infrastructure need, but direct investment in the harvesters themselves. Steph, what are some of the examples of that? What are some of the opportunities we have before us?
For this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Craig and Lisa, longtime partners in Southeast Asia. If you can go through any of our histories and listen to any of the podcasts with them, I highly encourage you to learn more about them if you don't know much about them. But they are just excellent mobilizers, and they're just equipping, training, sending out. And there is more of that going on this year. There's just been such an explosion of cross-cultural workers in their context. And so they have some Filipino missionaries that are doing some internships with their team. And then once they're trained, they're going to get connected into another area of Southeast Asia. And they really want to help them, get them settled, get them engaged with the mission. And they need all the different training and the materials and for those particular interns. And then Lisa she's just such a faithful laborer in the field. And I think we forget that they need poured into as well. And they need opportunities to, just connect with other missionaries who are, just I don't want to say long suffering. That's not the word I'm thinking of, that are just been in the field.
Long-standing.
There you go. Long-standing, but also just, it's hard work.
Yeah. Faithful,
and so being able,
enduring. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and sometimes can be isolating if you're in a country that, doesn't have a ton of other believers. And so she has an opportunity to connect with other like veteran missionary women and really be poured into, supported, equipped. and just other teachings and just kind of spiritual development. And so being able to really invest in her continued development.
Yeah. And so for Craig and Lisa, we're seeking to raise $4,500 this year, this Christmas, to support these trainings.
Yeah.
Both trainings for Lisa and for these Filipino missionaries that are getting trained to go on to the field. There's just a need for investment in people.
Yeah.
And these are the biggest needs for them and for both the longevity and the multiplication of the work they're doing as we go. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, there is one more kind of group of people that this funding will train. It's just they have some new training programs among new workers that are being sent out in areas of unreached people groups, and so work with Muslims in different regions, sending out workers in North Africa, regions of Spain. So just a lot of training of new workers.
Like last Sunday we met. We have opportunity to listen from Greg and Lisa.
Yeah.
I was really blessed to.
No, last week was Greg and Jeanette.
Greg
and Jeanette.
Oh,
yeah.
that's different.
Not Craig and Lisa.
Okay.
But they were last month, though. Yeah.
They were here last month.
They are very experienced missionaries. Like I was very blessed to hear, and understanding about the mission is so important than just being a missionary to go a different country. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so $4,500 for trainings. Craig and Lisa, Southeast Asia, new workers there.
So next is Kevin and Leilani, who are going to be here.
Yes. Probably
visiting.
Right after you listen to this podcast.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
awesome.
yeah, on Sunday they'll be here. We'll get to hear from them. We're looking to support them with $10,000 to help with transportation for their cross-cultural workers to be able to go to a retreat. So where they're situated is a really challenging area to navigate and to get cross-cultural workers that are all over the region to the same place. And
so I mean, we're talking about 50 cross-cultural workers among all sorts of different unreached people groups. Like if they're out there on the field among unreached people groups, like to have time for them to come together, to be equipped, to be further encouraged so that they can be in their context. It seems huge to me.
And it's not just like as easy as like hopping on the 405, going to LAX and like a flight to Phoenix. Like this is a really challenging transportation system or land. And so, just really, we want to make sure that these workers can go to this retreat and be able to, again, be encouraged, be equipped, and then sent back out to continue all over cross-cultural work among the unreached people group where they are.
I was just thinking about this. Like, what an incredible privilege to invest in, to get to participate with these 50 different cross-cultural workers among unreached peoples. Like to get to think about the fact that these people are going to people that haven't just not heard the gospel, but they're like, nobody in their villages or in their area have ever heard the gospel.
Right.
And so to get to be a piece of that and addressing the biggest needs is a huge. You're right that the transportation is challenging, right? Because they're in really remote places. This is what makes it unreached.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, those are all the factors that lead to these people being unreached, and so that's super encouraging. And the other thing I was going to mention was if you're listening to this and you're like, wait, where exactly are Kevin and Leilani? Where exactly are Craig and Lisa? That we're being vague on purpose.
Yeah.
There's other things you can listen to, or you can ask us if you are unfamiliar with their specific ministry locations. This, given the public nature of this podcast, we're gonna keep it vague.
Yeah. Thanks.
So so the third kind of investment in new global harvesters is.
So we're looking to raise $15,000 for Enlace for them to train up, equip, and bring on 3 new church partnerships within Guatemala. So there's just so much momentum. There's so many churches that are ready to understand how to actually live out the gospel and not just be a church among its 4 walls, but to be really engaging the community and transforming their community for Christ. And so there are tons of churches in the pipeline ready, but they need the actual funding to send out the church coaches to go and do the trainings with the church. And it's not just the pastor, it's the entire church leadership and really getting on board with the vision and understanding and the Bible studies and things like that. So each church will be $5,000 each. So we're looking to if we raise $15,000, we can bring on 3 new church partnerships within them underneath the Enlace model. And we, as a short-term trip team this summer, got to see firsthand how incredible that work is and how needed and necessary the work is and how fruitful the work is. And so to be able to say, like, now we can come back and help other people see that vision and mobilize 3 new churches through $15,000 would be just awesome.
Yeah.
Also, like, I remember for this, like, I want to mention, like, how the short-term trips help us, because there's lots of needs that they're bringing for us. So we have to choose one. And Pastor, like, I just want to thank for Pastor Jose that take a time and went there, and we had this question that which one is the best, which project is best to invest and be faithful to what resources God is giving us. It was like Pastor Jose went there and team went there, and then they said, yes, this is, and we came to common ground that this is the best way. And I'm kind of, if you know, in meeting, like, I'm kind of big supporter of local believers, to support local believers and impact more local churches. And this is how I think our money and our resources go to people in need. And we have like the short trips, and you have to take the opportunity to come to short trips to see in real world. And if we have a question, we can come to you and ask you which project is better now. That's a relationship. It's not just we have money, we are American, Western churches, we want to support or bless you. Just we want a relationship. We want to do the best way, as God gave all this opportunity to invest in God's kingdom.
Yeah. I really appreciate you adding that, because a lot of people don't understand the background. How do we get to this point, right? There is a global partnership team here within the church of people that pray over all of the opportunities that come before us. And we have people on the team that kind of, you ask questions, you really want to prod and understand. And we take all of these to prayer and we pray over them. And you're right. Like, it was a few people that had seen the work that is able to say, no, we want to keep investing in that work, because we really saw the fruit of it. We understand the model and the partnership and how it's growing the local church. And so I love that you added that. Thank you.
And I think it underscores the fact that, this time of year, particularly, well, really any time of year, but especially this time of year, like there's lots of things that we could give our resources to. The reason that I'm excited about sacrificing towards this end is because of the relationships, because of the connection to our local church, because of the fact that, and because of those relationships, we're not going through 3 layers of bureaucracy to try to get it to someone that we hope it, gets there. We don't, like, these are people that we know. They are people that we trust, who are investing, that are raising up new leaders. And that's the theme here that has gotten me so excited. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit excited. I feel I'm a little bit excitable, like so excitable. I feel like I'm, tone wise, like in like infomercial mode or something like that. I'm excited, but I am. The reason I am is because there's the thing that all these have in common is that they're going to training and facilitating and making possible new harvesters in really hard spaces. Right? In countries that are predominantly Muslim, that are unreached, that, like in Lasse, this is taking their transformational model and training new churches, new church coaches into places and areas that they haven't been, that their ministry hasn't been. There's just this, it kind of feels like what the Lord's doing with our church right now, where there's just this hunger for more workers, for more need, for they're seeing need, and the Lord's doing and stirring in all sorts of ways. And each of these represents diverse ways that we get to participate in that.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned a good point, that relationship, because lots of churches, they support, the motivation is the result. So give us result, like end of the year, how many people get baptized. Like so many times people came to me and said, okay, if you give this amount of money, how many baptism you can do? So I don't know how many. So our base, and I think, is to have that relationship, trust both sides, and there's no pressure for our partners that they have to give us report but because we have this relationship, because we went there, and our people saw what they're doing, and we trust them, and we know that God put them there, and just want to encourage our partners that our motivation, our church motivation, is not because of the result or numbers. This is because of relationship. God put us together, and we're part of what you're doing in your mission field.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think, and it's actually that piece of relationship that leads us to say, okay, if we want to invest in multiplying leaders, one of the things we need to help invest in is a dining hall. Right, which is kind of next on our list, which can seem out of piece. You're like, well, wait, that's not like people. Like, Steph, why a dining hall at AFRU, and how does that connect to this theme of multiplying harvesters?
Okay, so we're looking to raise $15,000 for Africa Renewal University, our partner in Uganda, and yeah, they told us the need. So that's another key part, is that we're not here experts on the West being like, well, we're going to tell you what your campus needs and what you need best to raise up laborers, right? And so they came to us saying, man, we're really outgrowing our one space that we use for dining and gathering or this gathering space for students. They use it multi-purpose. It's for dining, it's for chapel, it's for meetings, it's for seminars and trainings, and they're just busting out of the seams. And if you've ever been on a short-term trip to AFRU, you have seen this in person, and you've seen how they have to move things in and out and all the chairs and things. And so they've identified that having space elsewhere on the campus for students to gather, for visitors to come, for the vocational students in the not hospitality, what's it called? The catering to serve and learn some of their hands-on skills in the dining hall, is saying we need to have a separate dining hall. We need to have this dedicated space where, and everybody knows food is the place that people gather, and that's coffee shop evangelism. And so this space to have.
Can you imagine having going to a university without a dedicated dining hall?
I know, right?
Like,
it's a mess.
I mean, they're doing great with it.
Yeah.
But the need for the number of students they have seems obvious.
Yes, yeah. And if you've heard any of the previous podcasts over the past couple of years, you've seen that there have just continued growth in laborers and harvesters and their training and equipping of students. And so it's like, yeah, they're growing so much because of their faithfulness and because of just how God is just blessing this place. And so now that they're saying, hey, we have a need here, it's not I don't know, it might sound like a weird ask, but having been to the campus, I absolutely can see it. And I'm so excited for them to have a dedicated dining hall for the students.
But I don't see this as outside of our church nature, which our church wants to take care of our pastors and staff and also people. Like, that's one of our characteristics of church. And we want them to have a safe and without like nice place to sit. And I really appreciate it. This is, I think, our nature to take care of people. This is hospitality, I guess.
Absolutely. And I mean, and underneath all of that, and why when we ask AFRU what they need, and in a conversation with them, when they identify some of these specific needs, why it's so easy for us to get behind it is, number one, because of that generosity that we want to care for people and make it possible for them to do the work they're doing. But secondly, it's because of the nature of what they're doing, which is training up harvesters, right? Which is training up church leaders, training up Christians in all sorts of different vocations, and sending them into areas that, frankly, we can't go.
Yeah.
I mean, not only can we not go and live, like, many of their students are church planting and establishing and moving into areas in Africa that we can't just not live, like we can't even visit.
Yeah.
Right? Like into South Sudan and Congo and things like that, where the gospel is, they're getting trained up, equipped, and then sent out. And so if we can make it, whatever we can do to support that multiplying work of harvesters is exciting.
Yeah. And we might see it in the spring. I think it might be almost done.
My first time.
Really that quick?
They're pretty quick. And if we raise up this money, they really said if we raise up this money, this would be ready for the spring semester.
How many dining halls can they build in the time that it takes us to finish out our offices? Oh man, there's a lot of things there that are harder, but without the bureaucracy of the LA City building and safety.
It's easier.
Oh my goodness. That just, anyways,
Yeah.
it's exciting for them.
Yeah.
It's exciting for them. Okay. Speaking of back here in LA, next is we're talking about investing in space to facilitate new local harvesters and the multiplication of workers and the ministry and really the extension of our church community and the work of our presence in our city through our partner Claris. And this is another interesting ask in a sense, right? They're looking for specifically for a marketing push, but it's tied to something really new and really, really exciting. I think people may have heard about it, but let's remind them, like, what is this all about with Claris?
Yeah. So Claris Health is breaking ground on a brand new facility in Inglewood.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm blanking on the city.
Exactly.
And so this is going to be a dedicated, really large space that's not just for them, but to be co-located with other service providers so that the clients and the people and the populations that they reach to and minister to can also receive just a more comprehensive array of services and just really be supported with this like safety net. And so this facility will have lots of other providers on it, but it is Claris's campus, and it is a gathering space now where people come, and it's dedicated for saying, this place is for you. We see you. We want to help you. We want to come alongside you in your suffering and your grief and your joys and your, as you're, just pursuing just a healthier life and purpose. And yeah, Claris has this new place, and it's beautiful, and they need to let people know about it.
Okay, so we know Claris is here on our campus. Does this mean they're moving?
No. So they have a West LA presence. They want to keep their West LA presence. So there's a West LA clinic. There's a West LA Family Resource Center, which is the one that's on our campus, is the Family Resource Center. And then there's the larger South LA presence that is going to break ground and move into a larger facility.
So they're moving their South LA location to this new campus and are going to maintain the West LA presence here and here at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And sometimes people get connected into the larger kind of medical needs just through the family. Sometimes I just need diapers, or I just need, it starts sometimes with a small ask or those baby steps of kind of being a little bit nervous to ask for help. You get looped in, you get connected to Nikki and, the Family Resource Center. And then you kind of start finding out, about all these other resources. And so sometimes our Family Resource Center location, or Claris is on our campus, is the link to like the larger medical services and support that is also offered.
And one of the things we continue to love is the fact that when they get connected into medical services, when they need ongoing and parenting services, that's right here on our local church campus.
Yes.
And so that's really at the core of our heart, and the heart of our partnership with Claris is the connection to the local church. And we're also excited about this new campus and excited that for the ways that maybe through some of these marketing efforts, they can connect in more deeply to the local church in South LA as well. So
and it's not just like signage, right? Like
totally.
marketing is all about outreach too. Like how do you connect to local churches and for them to understand who they are and how to connect families into their work and their resources.
And lots of people, if they want to find a church or help, they Google. So it's very important.
Absolutely. Okay, so the last kind of category is three different resources that really directly support local and global harvesters. So those partners of ours that are doing the work of pursuing the harvest, that are seeing gospel fruit in their ministries. There are some really tangible, practical needs that have come up that we want to utilize this Christmas offering to support and provide for as well. The first of those is some transportation needs for a couple of people that are working for Nikunava.
Yes.
And that's the. So yeah, why don't you share a little bit more about that, Ara?
So for people that are new, like we have this ministry for Farsi speaker called Nikunava in region in Iran and in 1040 windows, and we have people that they need support, they need ministry resources. So we are trying our best to do it, and this is very impacting their lives. And
So a couple of your workers with Nuku Nava, a couple of the key people on the ground
Yes.
had to relocate
Because
right? 'Cause
of
they got displaced.
different countries, and sometimes they deport them. So they have to relocate, start again a life. So we were a resource for them to jump in this needs, and then we provide for them some resources.
Yeah. So and meaning some transportation needs, right?
Transport. And I'm sorry, I can't go to details
That's
because
fine.
of safety and security
Of course.
reason.
I think we're gonna
Yeah, but hopefully in family meeting,
Yeah.
if opportunity, we can share.
And I'll affirm you. I mean, the global ministry team knows all the details.
Yeah.
I think in a non-public context, we can share more of the details. But the reality is, those that are working with Nuku Nava, particularly on the ground, doing the work, are living in really tenuous life situations,
Yeah.
getting displaced and deported. And so
Prison.
for them to continue their work, we just want to meet some of the basic practical needs so that they can both get reestablished and continue the incredible work they're doing with Nuku Nava.
Yeah.
So secondly is just a resource, a local resource among one of our dearest and favorite partners, Prodigal Sons, and Danny Neidich.
Yo, Danny. Yo, Danny.
Danny has a need that we want to just bless and meet.
Yeah. So we want to raise $3,000 to get Danny a new laptop and some, just the basic accessories that come with needing a new computer. And it's so funny, just sometimes I think missionaries forget that, you do need to upgrade sometimes your computer, the thing that you use day in and day out to do a lot of your ministry work. He does so many other things as well. But yeah, he absolutely needs a new laptop, and I'd love to bless him with it just to keep his next 10 years of Prodigal going.
A few years ago, there was like a Christmas partnership offering where everybody,
5 laptops,
everybody needed laptops,
Yeah.
and so we were excited to provide that. This is one of those times where we're not gonna make Danny wait until we come around to another theme. That this is a very tangible and real need, and want to bless him. That's obviously over and above kind of the normal support for Prodigal, and we'd love to bless it. And then the last is for our partners Jonathan and Casey, who were also out here recently.
Yeah.
This
has been the best year ever. We've had so many of our partners get to visit this year.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. But
I don't know. I mean, I was like, why is that? I wonder if it's like a post-COVID wave.
Mm-hmm. That's what most of them have said. It's like finally they've kind of come out of that season and gotten things a little bit settled that they can actually kind of step away for a bit and just take a little break on this side. And
so similarly, we can't divulge in this context a lot of our details about Jonathan and Casey, but hopefully you're at least generally familiar with their ministry context. But what's the need here, Steph?
Yeah, so we're looking to raise $1,200 for Jonathan and Casey for them to basically host gatherings at their home to share the Christmas story. And so basically they're trying to continue to build and develop relationships with coworkers and neighbors and in
a completely Muslim context,
right? And so all of these are part of the majority, faith of the region that they're in, and most have never heard the Christmas story, and if they have, they just know things that they've seen on television, and so they really desire to invite people into their home and kind of hosting a number of intimate Christmas celebrations, and that they could just welcome people into the story and really understand more about not just these kind of things that you see on TV about Christmas, but really understanding the lengths that the Lord has gone to redeem his enemies back to himself. And so, that's
also just really exciting.
I know.
It's really exciting to imagine what the Lord's going to do through those times and through the building of those and continuing of those relationships. Okay, so you total all this up for all those that have been, keeping track on tallying as you go. You add all this up and it comes out to about $58,700. But there's one last piece of our Christmas, our Christmas partnership offering that we that we also do every year that we want to include in this?
Yes. So we do Christmas gifts, just personal Christmas gifts. These are people we know and love. These are our brothers and sisters in Christ. This is a way we partner, is in relationship. And so we send a Christmas card with a photo of the staff. One year, maybe we should do an all church photo. I don't know. But, and in it, we just include
remember to take that at Ironwood this year.
Yes.
It won't be all church, but it'll be like,
a lot of church.
Yeah,
a lot
big
of
group will do a out in the desert dusty photo.
Yeah, because in 100 years from now, we want our picture on some of those like hallway walls, right?
Yes.
So they know who was in the church back then. But yeah, so we send a card, and in it, write a note, do an update, just like you would to your friends, family, and neighbors at Christmas. A lot of you send out cards, and in it we include a cash gift. It's a check, but it's a cash gift just for them personally, just like you would send a friend or family member maybe a gift for Christmas. And this is just to show our love, our care, our thanks are across the seas and locally to our partners. And so we have individuals, couples, and families that we send this out to, all of our different legacy partners, our developing partners, our key partners. And so we are looking to raise almost 8,000. It's like 7,700 for those gifts.
For those gifts.
Yeah. If you add them all up, that's
okay. And so that's for all of our key partners, but also all of our developing partners, all of our legacy partners, everyone combined.
Yeah.
Okay. So you total all that up, and the total comes to
$66,400.
Yes.
That's a big ask. I'm literally.
We have a big God.
It sounds like I'm just I'm putting this on, but
for our church,
I agreed to this earlier, but I just looked at the page and was like,
it's a big number.
That's a big number.
Yeah, every year it's been increasing a bit, and the church has met it faithfully. I mean, guys, we not only pray over the projects that come to us, and we select the ones that we feel God is leading us to present to you guys, to faithfully ask you to sacrifice and give joyfully to each of these projects. But then, like, between now, this initial podcast, you'll hear it at God's activity, but praying between now and each week at the offering, I just always pray over like that God would, you would see this opportunity to give as a way to be a part of what God's doing around the world. And we partner in so many other tangible ways and relational ways, but this is just such a sweet, really specific way that we can meet a need financially as a church. And so to take up this special offering in December, we ask that you guys give online through Realm or through PayPal. Make sure you designate on Realm. There's actually in the dropdown, you choose Christmas Partnership Offering as where the funding area that you're giving to. If you're in PayPal, I don't use PayPal, but I know that there's usually like a notes area or something. You want to make sure that you
memo.
Note it for the Christmas Partnership Offering or CPO. If you give cash in the offering on Sundays or a check or anything, if you drop it in, just mark CPO on either on the envelope or on the check itself. And it's such a joy to tally those up over the month. And oftentimes it's not till January that we really pull the full total together and see what comes in. And if there's ever an overage, and honestly, I think every year in the past 4 years, there's been an overage, and brings me to tears every time.
That's what we're praying for.
And if there is an overage, we find like where's the
among
need?
These projects is there?
Yeah, was there an additional need? Because sometimes we're not funding the full amount; we might be funding like a partial ask.
And also, like every year, I remember since I'm been here, so every year we got surprised, and even our staff and ourselves like got encouraged of our members' generosity, and the number is big, especially in LA. Yeah. But always I'm encouraging everyone to walk in the faith, not walk in the numbers. So with faith, I believe that this will be more than enough for us to celebrate that we are part of God's kingdom work around the world.
Yeah. Amen. Well, I think we'll leave you with that. We would encourage you to prayerfully consider how you might sacrificially and joyfully participate in these projects with us, that you might give this holiday season, this Christmas season, to meeting these practical needs among our partners. We would love, we're excited to give you the opportunity to do so, and would love it if the Lord uses each of you as a part of this. And so would you prayerfully consider how you might sacrificially and joyfully contribute to that?
Amen. And also, we are honored to serve you in Cornerstone, and amazing people.
Oh, amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you for
We're
your
so
faithfulness. Yeah.
All right. And thank you guys. Thanks for all the work you've done to help compile this, put this all together. Steph, thanks so much for all the communication and connection.
My pleasure.
It really is a joy. So thanks for being a part of this with us. We're excited to see what the Lord does and announce in the new year how he has faithfully provided for all that we've just put before you. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this with us. We love you.
See you later.
And we'll see you on Sunday.